let's get into what's been going on in the PlayStation world this week. We are getting into rumors that Sony's still working on a PS3 emulator for PS5. And I will say, I think there is an issue with the PS3 games on PS5. I had one experience, and perhaps it's an isolated experience. I was getting ready for Elden Ring DLC, and I was like, what do I play beforehand? Somebody suggested Asura's Wrath. They said it's a really cool action game, and I went to go load it up, streamed it from the PS5, and when I got to some action sequences, nothing was working well. Like, none of the animations were working, none of the timing was working. I don't know if it was just the cloud experience or the PS3 emulation, but unplayable state, and I had to turn it off. So I hope they're working on something to really bring this to the forefront, because there are a lot of great titles there.
There are so many great PlayStation 3 titles. There's so many locked on PlayStation 3. Metal Gear Solid 4 being a big one. So many people want to play Metal Gear Solid 4. They're coming across the series now with 5 Ground Zeroes, with talks of Metal Gear Solid Delta and co. So there's a lot of things locked back there that people do want to play, and a PS3 emulator would be great. Like you say, the problem with the current version is it's cloud only. Now that's running on actual PlayStation 3, so it's PlayStation 3 is plugged into a server running on the cloud, or some form of their motherboards plugged in and what have you. That's how their current PlayStation 3 is working. It's not emulation, it's the actual hardware, because that cell processor that they built for that generation of console was so complex their own in-house studios never got full use out of it. So my query is, how are they going to do anything with emulation on PlayStation 5? To emulate something, you have to be like, I believe it's something along the lines of 10 times as powerful as the original device to emulate that original device. Essentially, all that means is it takes an area of the operating system, locks that off, builds a fake PlayStation 3 within it, and then starts playing the games upon that fake console, emulated console within the other bit of hardware, and then you start playing. The PS5 is nowhere near 10 times as powerful as the PlayStation 3, and especially not that cell processor. So how are they going to emulate that cell processor? How are they going to emulate the power of it? How is this going to work? Is it going to allow you to put your old PlayStation 3 discs in? Is it just going to be rebuy them digitally? Is it going to be what's on PS Plus? This is very, very rumor territory at the moment, and I personally do not see how it is possible to have an actual PlayStation 3 emulator running on the PlayStation 5, because the console simply doesn't have the overhead horsepower to make it work. If they can do it, if they've got some magical wizardry in the PlayStation vaults and such that will make this happen, I'm all for it. I've got PlayStation 3 games that I really want to play that are locked back on that console, and currently my PlayStation 3 remotes will only work plugged in, and then only for about 5 or 10 minutes at a time. So I'm all for ways of getting these games on the current console. It's just a case of knowing how emulators work and running many of them on this. I don't see how that's possible. You need a 2080 minimum graphics card and a 11th gen i5 processor in a PC to emulate a PlayStation 3 at 1080-30. So I don't see how the power is there.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and they've actually lost money on the PS3, their only console, to do that. But nothing ventured, nothing gained, as they say, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's true, and if they're trying it, all power to them. It's one of the only back catalogs that isn't easily available alongside the PSP and Vita. But even they're coming to PS Plus in the Classics catalog and such, so it's very difficult one. I would love to see it. Bring it on if you can bring it on, but please don't half-bake it. Make it worthwhile.